accurate here. You know the drill. I'm going to give a quick overview of the map and our units, outline my intentions for the next turn, and take a look at the Russians and what they're doing. So first off, one thing I'm a little bit worried about is this avenue of approach right here, Red Sox Road. Because this vehicle here from, beg your pardon, 1st Platoon C Company pops smoke, that's IR blocking smoke. Vehicles cannot see through it, which means that my battalion headquarters track, as well as this vehicle here, cannot see anything. So I'd recommend moving this vehicle somewhere in this general vicinity here so they can get line of sight down that road again, maybe like here. And I'll move my battalion headquarters vehicle up so it can see through the smoke. But you can see here the Russians are moving 1, 2, 3 BMPs plus a Tiger vehicle right here. So they're moving a substantial amount of force down Red Sox Road. They want to lock down this West Road VP, and once they've got troops in these buildings and hedges, they're going to be very hard to drive out. So I want to kill them as they're moving down this road. So let's get some more tanks, some more fighting vehicles, locking down this avenue of approach right here. Other vehicles in 1st Platoon C Company, this vehicle really can't see much because of the Ryzen train to its front. Can't see much there. Can see some things out to here, but not much. Just the line of sight's pretty limited. I would recommend either moving the vehicle back so it could cover this lane, or moving it over a little bit more here. Same story with this vehicle. You can see some things, but not much to its immediate front, although it does have reasonable line of sight out to its flank. But this vehicle here, outstanding firing position. You can see it's already engaging enemy forces there, and it's got pretty good line of sight down Yankee. So I like this position here for 1st Platoon HQ. I'd stick some more tanks around here. Hob, you're moving your vehicle up 100 yards. That's about this distance right here. So you'll have a tank here looking hull down down Yankees Road. That's a great firing position. One thing to keep in mind, though, is that there are 2 T-90 tanks sitting right there. Odds are they may see you and shoot you first. So I'd recommend moving more Abrams down there to support that effort as you do that. Willie, this vehicle here, the XO tank. Can't see anything yet, but you've got your same usual lines of sight. Same story here. Oh, this is 2nd Platoon C Company. Just as a general overview, 2nd Platoon C Company, you've got vehicles in the Ornette Woods. Ornette Woods, as I said in earlier videos, these vehicles cannot see very much. So you can hold them in reserve, but for now they're not really contributing a lot to the fighting effort. Because as you can see, the Ornette Woods is low ground, and they just can't see that much of their front. All right. The good news is, though, Willie, all your units here you can see have acquired their javelins finally. I would recommend splitting them up into multiple teams. Once a unit fires a javelin, there's a huge puff of smoke in IR signature, which makes it much easier for units to spot. And in this version of Combat Mission Block C, if an enemy tank shoots at a squad, everybody ends up dead. So I'd recommend splitting off your AT teams for ambush purposes. As for your Bradleys, what they can see, this guy right here, good firing position. This guy right here is moving to this position right here. He won't be able to see too much, so I might recommend scooting him up a little bit further to see here. But I think you've got good positions for your Bradleys. All right, let's take a look at D Company. D Company, you've seen this view before. In the woods right here, can't see a whole lot. But they got them in reserve, and that is okay. All right. As for the units here, no major changes to what D Company in the woods, in 100 Acre Woods here can see. Same story with Tukeen, the Bradley that you command. Good line of sight down here. These units, if they move vehicles down here, you're going to be able to engage them. So these are good firing positions to have. As to the Bradleys, great firing position here. Awesome firing position here. Well done on both counts. And you can see the infantry are finally getting back together. So you'll be able to acquire those javelins very soon. Yeah. Same story here. The vehicles of 2nd Platoon D Company. Good lines of sight, good positions. In the woods here, the smoke has basically blocked this vehicle's view of anything to its immediate front. You can see here everything is blocked because of that IR defeating smoke. So you'll want to move your vehicle either somewhere over here or move your vehicle somewhere up here, because at this point this vehicle from 2nd Platoon D Company, 3rd MBT, cannot see anything. These vehicles here got good line of sight. You can see this gun's got its TOW missile up. and it's going to be engaging those vehicles over there. Goods on line of sights here. Kenzie, or sorry, beg your pardon. Jaguars, sniper, decent lines of sight to this position here, but I would like much more idea of what's going on over here in the east. So if you wouldn't mind, please continue moving your snipers up. You can see your snipers are here currently. Yeah, please continue moving your snipers up. You can see here they do have line of sight, but they don't have much just because they're on the ground level and because of the terrain irregularities. So move units up more towards Mingus Woods in that general vicinity there. Also, you do have the option of using your Humvees to help you out there. All right, now a quick look at what's going on with the Russians. So you can see here, we're calling in several fire missions. So this fire mission right here, splash down in 1 minute, short, heavy, general, works for us. And we can also repeat the fire mission pretty easily. This one here, 2 minutes, fire mission splashing down right there. And you can see, based off of what we have with Russian troop concentrations, there's a good chunk of things right here that we'll hit. So we'll probably fuck up a few BMPs, things like that. 105mm artillery fire is not especially effective against armored fighting vehicles, but hey, it'll still do some damage. Right now, it's pretty obvious what the Russians' general scheme of maneuver is. Given the fact that we've had no sound contacts and seen absolutely nothing in the east, we'll have to see what Jaguar sniper teams and his Humvees can see, but I'm suspecting very, very strongly the Russians don't have much of an eastern presence, that the effort they're making is mostly a central effort and a western effort, which is fine. The west is very, very exposed terrain. The center is very exposed terrain. We'll fuck them up if they move through there. And the west, it's a little bit more crowded, cobbled terrain, and it does play to their strengths in infantry and BMPs. However, we'll be able to engage them from the flanks as they move in through there. So we've got excellent firing positions. The one concern that I do have is this. Again, as I said earlier, we do not have good control of these main thoroughfares yet. The Russians are still moving large numbers of units down these roads, and we've not been able to do anything about it. So C Company in particular, but D Company, this is something I want you to think about as well. Make sure you're able to engage them, because if the Russians can move up troops here, dump infantry, they'll just swarm us. I want to make sure we can kill infantry while they are still in their BMPs, and having vehicles firing on these roads is going to be very critical for that. Insofar as I'd like, if C Company, as Hob has been saying, can act as an anvil, we'll have the opportunity to have some free maneuver. Pull elements of D Company and possibly a few unengaged elements of C Company, like 2nd Platoon, pull them out, rush them over, and move them through the flank right here. Now, for those of you who've been worried about the exposure of this, let's take a look at the terrain that we need to move down this. So if we move elements of C Company, we could use Armstrong Avenue, which, although does have some moments of exposure, is a viable route if we move a few vehicles down it very, 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 very quickly. But a much more promising and probably much safer route is to take vehicles and move them along the broken ground here, move them through the 100-acre wood, move them through the smoke screen here, move them through Patton Forest, and use the trees as much as possible to screen our movement. Now you can see here, if we have units in this built-up area here, they'll be able to engage Russian units in the center. If we have vehicles, in the Mingus Woods area, they'll be able to move to firing positions over here. And firing positions here, particularly on this rise here, are going to be able to engage enemy units in the center. We'll have a chance of taking out the Southwest Farm VP, as well as these things here. Now, if we do this, I will definitely want to make sure that, first off, we have some idea from our sniper teams of what's hiding in this woods over here. I do not want to get hit by an ATGM ambush or a couple of tank destroyers flanking us. So Kenzie will need to do a good job scouting, and I may retask the UAV to look in this area here. But given that sitting on our asses for a month worth of game time on the thread is going to be kind of boring, I'd like to consider the possibility of doing some offensive action, and that will be my intent to do it. So, from what we've seen of the enemy force right now,